Everyone, welcome. X's and Knowles, presented by Knowles 24/7, and we're here to talk about Boston College. The Florida State's bumbling performance at home on Monday night. Well, it can't really be a group therapy session without a big group to just kind of pour through this wonderful footage. So we decided to bring Brendan Snow, our colleague, on with us. Brendan, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. It's been comforting talking to you guys pre-show. Probably can't get into what we talked about, but I found it to be a therapeutic 15 minutes or so. So sets up for an interesting episode, I would say.
No, we cannot talk about any of it, but you're right. It felt a lot better than this hour and a half's about to be. Adam, what
Can
do you
I
have
say
to
I am very frustrated with Brendan, though, because in my moment of need, Monday evening, when we were trying to name the pod, and I came up with the best instant reaction name ever, the Boston Massacre, and Trey was like, yes! I was like, well, I want to run it by Brendan. I couldn't get a hold of him.
Oh, no, I don't. You actually asked me. I still haven't seen that. I didn't know. Yeah, you could have done that.
did.
That's fine. That would have been great.
Oh, well. It was catchy. It was inventive.
It was the one time I've ever come up with a good pod name ever.
It was high quality. All of the things that Florida State's performance against Boston College was not. If you guys are watching on YouTube, we thank you. We're going through the film. We're also going to release this as an audio format. So for our people listening on the bench podcast feed, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hopefully this translates pretty good to audio. If not, X's and Knowles YouTube page, come on over and you can see all the wonderful plays that we're going to be orally dissecting for you. And because this is an On the Bench podcast feed production as well, I want to thank our two main sponsors. The one, I know sales have been skyrocketing, Chattanooga Whiskey. There's no way you can get through this version of the Florida State Seminoles without drowning yourself in the finest of all Tennessee hooch. Brendan's got a nice, what is that, buddy? That looks pretty fancy.
Pinot Noir finished one, and I've been smelling it, and I haven't drank it yet, so this feels like the appropriate time. I probably should go with the 111 proof, just light everything and turn it on fire right now, but it's actually very smooth for that. But this will be really nice too. So
well, whether you go with the 111 proof or the stuff that's finished in the Steve Brule Sweet Berry Wine Cask, Chattanooga Whiskey has the hooch for you. It is the best craft yet affordable and the high quality whiskey that you deserve by punishing yourself watching this team for so many weeks in a row. And as I always say, when you're drinking the booze, what should you do? Hit the real estate market. That's right. Sell your house or buy a new one with the Turner Group. Based out of Central Florida, but Colin and Amy Turner are the best damn realtors in the entire state. They can help you whether you're in the Panhandle or you're in SoFla and you're in Blostein territory. They will help you buy, sell, lease, Airbnb, vacation rental, Verbo, whatever you want. Real estate is something that is always going to be a great investment. Don't do it on your own. It's a lot harder than you think it is. Let the experts at the Turner Group help you, and they will, because they've helped so many people out in the state. Tell them 24/7 sent you. All right, let's get into this film review, guys. One thing that's going to be interesting to me, I want to just throw this film on. Brendan, you wrote a very prescient article about trust issues within the team. I personally am going to be watching out for that because we've pointed it out. We saw it last week at Georgia Tech, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. This has looked like a team that has not played together with each other a lot, and one that definitely doesn't trust that their teammates are going to be in the right position. Some of it's technique and a lot of it's hero ball. So we'll see. I'm going to be particularly looking for those issues to crop up during this film review watch for myself. Good article.
Thank you. I'm
going to close my eyes for the next hour, and you guys let me know how this thing goes.
Yeah, we'll see you then, AB. It's nice having you on.
I haven't rewatched the game yet. Usually I do it immediately, night of, morning after. I have not. Have you guys rewatched it?
I have rewatched it, yes.
Okay.
Several times.
Any different thoughts, Kev?
Several times. Oh, my.
Yeah. Yeah. Defense is hard. I'm looking forward to looking at this with you guys because honestly, sometimes it's just kind of like everybody's so poorly positioned, it's hard to know who's wrong.
All right. Well, what do we see here, fellas?
So Boston College is doing this little, I think they're expecting FSU to have prepared for counter because now they're kind of, I guess this is counter, right? Mm-hmm. So
yep. Just seems odd.
Yeah, it's just the running back doesn't ever kind of cut back to where his pullers are.
Pat stays too wide. He's got to come down more. We talked about this last week. Like our collision point needs to be tighter.
Right. I think the defensive line, the interior guys here do a decent job holding up.
Good job by Farmer on the extension. Looks like he's really holding his ground.
He did seem to play better like this week. His running mate, I'm not so sure, but
good first rep though. They try to get you with the eye candy, the run and counter, more motion.
Yeah, this is more of a power look here. Similar idea. You've got a pulling lineman and a tight end on the same side, kind of blocking out.
Just really going to focus on those double teams inside.
Yeah, so you get double. Well, this actually doesn't double.
They get a solo there, but they get a double on the on Jackson.
Backside.
I think it is.
They work up.
This is one where you're
right. This is exactly what I was talking about.
Tackle just can't lose a one-on-one. Like he's got to win here. Like
right. He gets.
Yeah, that can't happen. Like he's too good to be
pinned
just
inside.
Defeated like that.
Right, because if he can stay square, that gives time for these guys to get in there.
If he plays any kind of gap control there, then you're okay.
But yeah, he's turned around completely.
Totally.
And who's that in the middle getting? Is that Cam Riley getting blocked by who's the dude in the middle right there to the right of the guy you have the cursor on, Kev?
Okay, yeah, I believe that's Cam Riley.
Yeah, he gets smoked. And this was a disappointing performance too, because Boston College was breaking in and like a new half of their offensive line, and they also had issues. I think their starting left guard was out. Like this surprised me based on what we know about Boston College offensive line coming into 2024.
Yeah, this is easy money. They go back to similar ideas. AB, what'd you say?
I'm not going to say it. I'm just not going to.
It seems like they're playing a game here where this tackle's stunning out and they've got him spying.
It's like folding.
It's kind of like folding, but he's spying here. He's watching the quarterback. He's got to be able to win to the edge. He can't.
Where's the depth there? Is it too shallow? Like I don't understand.
Yeah, he's probably a little shallow.
Yeah, he's kind of getting caught up into this mess. Yeah, shallow would be probably.
But they've got you way out leveraged over there with that back.
Yep.
So just good play design as well, Adam. I mean, they do a blocker to account for Jones anyway.
Yeah, it seems like they kind of.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessary play design because the back doesn't look like
the running back looks surprised, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think that they're just Castellanos just makes an athletic play here.
Yeah, surprise. All right.
We don't as a forcing unit, we don't play with any type of leverage.
Right, and you'd like to see 6 at least help slow this down. He gets chewed inside too, and I don't think that's his responsibility.
Back inside.
Right.
Like intentionally.
And once again, BC coming out like even it's a new coach, but this is what BC looks like: compressed formations, a lot of size, running the ball. This should not have been a surprise to this Florida State defense.
Lord,
so surge there.
Farmer does a good job winning this.
Yeah,
but your linebackers are so out of place; they don't know where to be. And
we could not have been any more wrong about Jackson. Like
He's getting washed here.
This is
a
not
double.
This is not the version that Miami got. I mean, we watched a lot of his film.
But also,
you think it's worse than the version Miami had?
Infinitely worse.
Is it leverage, Adam? What do you think that? What's the disconnect?
He plays upright the entire game. He just plays way too tall.
Brendan, did you guys notice that during camp? Is this like leverage? Is this kind of like a new development with him? Because he was impressive during camp. Everybody reported it. Nick Saban said it.
He's trying to lean into this double team. He is just getting driven because
he's just not fighting through it at all.
Right? Just standing him up. I mean, they've stood him up at this point and forget about it.
But what doesn't help is that the linebackers aren't. We got two linebackers. We got a safety and a linebacker filling the same gap. So I'm going to pause it. They get a double. They knock him back 2 yards, which is less than ideal. But there's a gap here and a gap here.
And
you got 2 guys going this direction.
Nobody's triggering. Nobody's triggering again.
Right here, there's a gap. This linebacker needs to be here right now. Trigger. Handoffs happened. Be there.
We said that's not his strength.
No, he waits. Yeah, he waits behind the pile of guys. I mean, Brendan, are the linebackers? We were worried about at the beginning of the camp. We got a little bit less worried. Is this indicative of how they played, or are they like regressing as more tape gets on them?
Some of like the freelance, like Cam Riley not being. We're watching like athletic traits and stuff too, and you know he shows some of that, but like
it's a horrendous hold.
Lundy being freelancing so much is surprising to me. That's not something that was really in this game. We didn't see it in camp, and that's been impacting them a ton. You know, Riley being a little tentative, that doesn't surprise me a ton. Kind of knew that, and even saw that somewhat in camp at times. But like it wasn't staggering like it is now. I think you feel it. You know, when we're there, man, we're not watching. They don't tackle, and so you don't feel that impact of not being aggressive.
Sure, because you're thudding anyway. You can't get a really good feel for the run fits.
Right.
But here's my problem with that argument. Like, the problem with this play isn't that nobody's tackling. It's that they're not even in the right place. Like, I don't care if you're thudding. 18 needs to be here. He needs to thud now. You know, it's timing.
Explains why the rushing attack has been good in practice.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just tentative. It's just tentative and waiting. A lot of waiting. No anticipatory. And that kid's played a lot of football. Like, not with Florida State, but your defensive tackle's getting double teamed and getting washed. Like, you know, to hit the hole, you would think. And this is just, that's good defense.
Hey, Kevin Knowles.
That's swarming.
Yeah, great play by Kevin Knowles.
He's actually fine.
Breaks really quickly there. Like, there's a rapid movement to it.
Yeah, look, he plays this right. They do a motion. They're trying to get him kind of caught up, chasing this other side. He sees it back the other way. He does a good job keeping his eyes right in the right place, keeping good depth in case this guy releases downfield and breaking on the throw. Textbook.
We got to finish on the defensive line, but that's better. That's good. When you actually get the opponent off schedule and mess up their timing, it helps you out. Good play.
All right, 2nd and 15. Good spot.
Oh, wow.
Keep coming. Get your hands up.
They were terrified of Castellanos, right, Adam?
It's fine, just get your hands up. Put a little pressure on him.
Well, I think...
this is not a terrible play, and they're covering it well.
No, someone misses this.
We have a bust here, but...
Because I think what happens is... I think we're giving Kevin Knowles credit. So they do this motion over, and as soon as he passes this line, generally the idea is if this receiver goes inside, the trailing guy has to follow him because this corner is looking to take him. Right? We're going to see this over and over. If you do motion this way and he trails and there's an inside release, he needs to pick that inside release up. Or at least one of these two guys needs to pick him up, right? Depending on the call. Usually that's how they play it.
You'll see that on the Trayshawn Ward.
Little leaker here.
He doesn't make the catch, but that means that this safety can't pick up his guy.
Because this dude's slow releasing in the middle of the play. Like, this is just I know what you're going to be in. I'm going to give you fits with it because your guys are going to be out of position.
Secondary communication was off this game too. You'll see on that Trayshawn Ward huge gain out on the wheel route, 2 guys covering 1 dude. I think, like you said, Adam, it's easy to scheme against this defense because they know what we're going to line up in.
Yeah, there's a lot of predictability, and they've made there's a ton of film out on this defense. It's been the same for a few years now, and I don't know. It was good last year because you had guys up front that would go and change the game, and you just don't have that right now.
And
so, the scheme itself, there's nothing wrong with the scheme. Like, I think people are wanting to, the scheme's broken, it doesn't work.
Oh God,
they're having too much of this garbage.
So
go on in the secondary, but then the scheme's not bad. It works.
So
they just got guys freelancing and.
Kev, what do you see? Yeah, what do you see here?
All right, I see the story of 2, one good switch and 1 bad switch, right? So here's that same motion. This guy's going to release inside. This guy's going to release outside, and watch this guy and this guy.
So Knowles and Cypress.
Knowles picks up this guy. Cypress picks up this guy, right? They do a little switch. A similar thing happens up here where you've got this guy release inside and this guy release outside. I'm not sure.
You got two guys up top that release inside, which becomes the bigger issue.
Right. And there's confusion and no one knows who to pick up the running back. The linebacker's looking to pick up this guy inside. The corner's thinking that he's releasing upfield enough that he takes him.
There's a confusion on who's got number 3 in this setup.
Right. There's a confusion for what's called a fast 3, a guy straight out. Sometimes it's this guy, sometimes it's this guy. I don't know, but it's got to be one of the two.
I would assume the fact that these two are trying to wall and take over, that it's probably on AZ, but
I think it's probably on AZ too, because they typically try to switch these.
Yeah. And those guys go right to it.
Yeah, Blake and DJ go right for it.
Yeah,
but again, it's tough to know. That's one of those ones that you can't be sure of unless you got the call.
But they're doing the exact same thing, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. And whatever, it's fine. They caught you a great play design, good script for the first drive. The fact that they hit you with this play over and over and you don't get it worked out is pretty glaring.
What's frustrating is AZ teams did this to AZ 2 years ago when he was a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
There's tape of that where he misses that switch 2 years ago. This is someone you're expecting to be your best player on the field. That can't happen. Whether or not it's his fault, like that communication needs to be there.
Offense. Here we go.
RPO. We are just.
Yeah, that's the right read on the RPO. This guy eats.
Mm-hmm.
This guy bites.
It's
got a glance.
Just no separation from the wide receiver. Is that what kills us?
Yeah.
Yeah, just smothered. Your best receiver is just getting smothered by a Boston College cornerback.
Brendan, how did they look? Did they RPO in practice? Does it look pretty crisp?
They did a lot of RPO during the week, and that's the thing that I think they thought DJ would do well throughout the season. They had a few nice, didn't they do it somewhat towards the end of Georgia Tech a few times with success?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, RPOs in general have been good for them.
Yeah.
I don't think they've hit a glance yet.
Go back.
I think this might be an RPO here.
Like this is killing them.
What?
We were all very excited about Roydell Williams, and I like the player. There's just no juice there. Like he goes down on first contact every time, no matter what.
Yeah, I think he had some good runs against Georgia Tech early, which Brendan has highlighted.
Oh, because you got a decent block up top. Well, you had for a little bit, but yeah, that should
There's
be
just
like
no
a 7-yard
juice there.
gain.
Like
yeah,
that's a quicker, faster player gets that to the sideline for another 3 yards.
He tries to cut back inside there. No, it seemed, I don't know. It's just strange.
It's just
whatever it is, it needs to be confident.
Being the fastest team they've had, they look slow all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're talking 3rd and 6 instead of first down or 3rd and 2, you know. It's a difference.
Yeah, Boston College ran that same play with more authority than you did.
I feel like Kev, did you see, on both sides of the ball?
Oh God.
Yeah, so Boston College showed they're in man coverage. They're in man coverage again. You've got your best playmaker. You're going to run him an out against a safety. He gets open. Whether you want to blame the fact that he throws this 120 miles per hour or the fact that, that's still a good throw. You got to catch that. I'm sorry.
It's good enough. And that's what sucks about that drive is you actually schemed open 2. You had 2 open dudes and one where your athleticism or your number 1 receiver failed you. But those were 2 open scheme looks, and it's a 3 and out. And Boston College is about to have the ball for the length of an entire SpongeBob episode.
All right, more counter.
Good job, Phil.
Just seeing AB.
And Lawrence told Philly he's been awesome. He's been so good catching the football.
Great split of the double by
He was
Josh.
good. He was good in Dublin too. It's just inexplicable.
This is a good job by Pat Payton to see this. He is more aggressive. He cuts this hole down.
Yeah, he's more aggressive squeezing this thing, and he takes it on. Almost gives it a spill look, but watch Josh Farmer split a double in there, which we were talking about Daryl Jackson earlier not do. Watch Farmer split this double team. He gives it up, then boom, gets through it, and he's in on the play. Yep. That's winning football that you need to get back to.
But that's what we're talking about in the Georgia Tech game. It's like what you need is threefold. You need Patrick Payton to attack this a little bit more aggressively, this guy to be there a half a step sooner, and this guy to leak out from that double team at the last second. Those three things are like 5-10% improvements, but they turn a 6-yard gain into a 0-yard gain. You know,
and that's where the you hope. I guess if you have hope for this season, is it really is just a bunch of like little effort technique things that they know and they can execute. They just can't do it down to down.
Like Pat's good on the timing here, but this needs to be more aggressive.
Yeah, and then
there's a big hold in the middle.
Massive.
Okay, we got DJ
I
going
think
to the
Josh
out.
might be aligned a little tight, which ends up making this double easier for him. It's hard to tell. The angle's really bad. No, probably not.
You have to fill that. Where's the gap? Like, where's the space coming from?
Yeah, I mean,
so Blake,
they're releasing this guy, which pulls out the linebacker. Yeah. Blake needs to attack this a little bit harder. He gets
Blake's got to take this. I think Blake tries to split that, and I think he's right there.
But it's not necessarily safety's job to be here right now.
Yeah,
but you need to buy him time so the safety can get there.
Just fighting through the wrong shoulder, guys. Blake is.
Yeah, he's just trying to make the play instead of doing a job.
Yeah, I think you got to go collision that.
Like, you're not expected to win that, right? You're not expected to like blow up the guard and tackle the guy, but if you blow up the guard,
go force it.
Right.
Go force the ball.
Mess with the running back's track, right? Get him off track.
Yeah. Yep.
And then just get to the.
Here's you some spot drop zone. Everybody wants spot drop zone. So they're
unfortunately you got Sione. I mean, that's just not going to be his strength.
Yeah, they're doing like a cover 4 type, 4 over 2 under type thing.
Zone blitz or whatever.
Yeah. No, there's only 4 going.
I think he was short on that play too. They gave him the first, but they played it really well.
That's not a bad rep. I mean,
it's not. Just the third down, you just can't get off the field.
No.
And this is Blake Nicholson not knowing he needs to see counter.
You got to squeeze it.
It's a young mistake. He squeezes this, he hits this inside. There's no gap here.
Oh yeah, too wide. What do we think
also,
about the
Pat Payton gets
I was going
out.
to say the defensive end's effort on that. That makes the play.
It's not great.
You got to wonder, like, I mean, he's taking on a tackle and a tight end.
They got you unbalanced.
He's a defensive end. He's not a defensive tackle. Like,
yeah,
anchoring double teams isn't his strength.
No, that's fine.
Also, is that Lundy? Like, just keep coming, Lundy. Keep coming. Don't go up there and throw your hands up, but just come collision. Yeah. It's got to be collision.
Yeah, if he hits someone here, there might be more time.
It's a collision sport.
And nobody, Brandon, did you see these linebackers? It seems like nobody has the ability to shed blocks or create violent collisions with offensive linemen that are coming at them. They just get blocked and pushed out of the play.
One thing that DJ Lundy did well was like when there was collision last year.
Here's tackling.
I mean, momentum would stop, and it was striking. And it's not happening.
Yeah, it's just even the dude. It's stuff we talked about on the instant. The dudes that you can't even count on the dudes you thought you could count on. You definitely can't count on concepts or traits of the team. But it's like now you can't even count on individual guys, which is alarming.
Play fumble. They picking up her 15.
Yeah, a little inside zone. Good job, AZ filling.
Yep.
Let's watch AZ. Yeah, this guy goes in.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's not a lot of answers at linebacker, but I don't know if Cam Riley's the answer.
Not if anybody has any desire to run the ball.
Against these run teams, I just don't know.
He's very soft.
And you're going to be facing more of them, too. Clemson's going to do this to you to death. Notre Dame, Florida, Miami. Like, it's...
This is Miami's offense. This is
he does tackle well. It's always catching.
I wonder what's happening here with DJ Lundy. Because you got doubles across the line of scrimmage, a puller, and he's going here, which there is a gap here. So maybe he's thinking gap, gap, he gets kind of lost.
I don't know, the gap ain't over there.
Yeah, kind of a weird rep.
Run it back one more time.
Yeah, it feels like DJ Lundy doesn't.
He's trying to play. Looks like he's trying to play the front side A, or the backside A.
Right.
Yeah.
Thinking he's got this guy.
Yeah. They're giving you some split flow.
But also, Blake Nicholson needs to see this puller sooner.
Yeah, he's got to just be faster. He's got to trigger this thing faster and go get it in the backfield. Be a force.
If he makes contact here, that gives time for all these guys. That's what we're talking about. This is the most important thing to do if they're going to be pulling. You need to contact those pullers.
What's 7?
He's late.
He fell. Tripped.
They're just unsure, man. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't know where he was going, like, if he didn't fall, too.
Yeah, I don't.
Very far.
Kind of up the field. I don't know, man.
I think that's a good point, Trey. They do when we talk about trust, like they don't trust where they're going to be, where they're supposed to be. They don't trust where their teammates are. That's what the word trust, I think they're referring to.
Yeah, and you could. It's of course it's funny that, and of course no recognition. Boston College I mean, now they held our guy on a screen. Later you'll be able to see, but there's no recognition of anything, man. There's no, and of course they caught you on a screen. Good call, 3rd and 2, but there's just no recognition.
Yeah. Some awareness by
7. Yeah. I mean, you saw the back hits you and then leaks out. There's just we just don't play very, I don't know if I want to say smart, but football smart. There's really very little IQ demonstrated on this team.
Last year, it felt like you would see Braden Fisk like seeing this here and just like peeling off,
Boston College does it with their defensive line, which doesn't have a lot of NFL prospects to my knowledge.
I think there's some rat trapping going on where guys are trying to just.
Yes. Yeah, you can see it. You can see it in how they move.
Yeah, good job filling zone. Zone's a little bit more straightforward. There's no pullers, nothing funny. You can see Blake Nicholson's athleticism showing out.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah, that's Riley filling as well there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They got it in him. That's what's even more frustrating. All right, so you got pullers here.
See, we weren't totally lying to you guys.
You weren't lying at all.
Josh.
All right, let's see. Yeah.
Are we even fast forward? It's like gets all glitchy in there in the middle. Speed's way up.
No, we're not.
It's okay, rep. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine rep. They run inside zone at you, and your defense.
They got 3 yards. I mean,
you'll take 3 yards on 2nd and 9, right?
Yeah, it's a win.
3rd and 6.
This is where
you just could never get off the field 3rd down.
The running back's open on mesh again.
Yeah.
No, I need Blake collisioning here.
Yeah, so this
you
guy
got a crosser, and I'm assuming he's a spy. I don't know, like he just kind of standing there.
He's late to get his hands. It looks like he tries to redirect him and he whiffs. Honestly,
his eyes, like look at his helmet, like where he's looking.
He looks like he's playing. He looks like he's playing some spy on Castellanos.
Maybe that's it. He's looking at the quarterback even as the ball's thrown.
But he sees a crosser coming. He's got to make better contact there. He's got to wall that dude off.
You see what I mean? He's legit looking. The ball's thrown and he's turning back towards the quarterback.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. 3rd and 6, Castellanos in the red zone. I get the call, but Adam's right. Part of your job is to make contact with the guy. And he realizes it. He's just late. Like everything, this defense is late.
I gotta wonder why you're not in dime right now.
Oh, that would mean you're putting Earl Little on the field at a high leverage play.
Yeah, but like DJ Lundy is now on a wide receiver running across the screen.
Yeah.
He's on their best wide receiver.
On the podcast the other day when he was like, they should be running more. I'm like, sometimes your answers, none of them are very good at the moment.
Or at least isn't that why you have Cam Riley to be
that guy? Yeah.
This seems like a prime Cam Riley spot.
Yeah, why do I have Cam Riley in on 3rd and short and then DJ Lundy on 3rd and 6?
Yeah, that's a good point, Kev.
It's missing
also
personnel.
AZ misses this switch again. It's the same thing. I don't know what's up with him, but this switch has always gotten him. He's late on it.
Yeah, he was, and that would have been a touchdown. It will be a touchdown later. Brutal. Yeah, not good.
What was BC on third down in the game?
Probably good.
9 of 16.
And
I think it was
Juice Crier.
and
higher.
they barely faced anything over 6 yards the entire game.
All right. Nicholson does a little bit better job here. You'd still like him to hit the inside shoulder, but this guy just gets washed.
Who was that getting
Again,
watched? I can't see.
But there's two of them that just get washed. Daryl just gets absolutely.
I think that's Josh.
Is it Josh?
Yeah.
It's
That's
five.
Farmer,
It
yeah.
looks like Daryl though. I don't know.
I think it's Lions in. I think it's Lions in there, and
Okay.
Lions and Farmer.
are your D tackles? Yeah.
Is that 5?
And
Yeah.
Five's
Okay.
head up. And
Okay,
he's
yeah.
slanting to that A.
But
gap.
he's firing off with his head down. I mean, Odell's never taught that. You're just completely out of control.
Yeah.
Like I get it. He's trying to come off the ball as hard as he can and win this leverage spot, but I mean, you just come off and you end up
Double
getting
teaming
hurt.
Pat Payton. It seems is Riley slow again on this?
Look at the difference between these linebackers.
Juice fires. Boom.
Right. Watch. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Juice Crier does exactly what I've been saying you need to do.
Contact
This
that he
guy
brought.
hits somebody. This guy catches somebody. Hits somebody. And he's the only reason this gets stopped for 3 yards. Because if you had a second
Sione's there.
18 on
Sione's there. Sione folds back in. So they're doing some of that stuff again.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah,
get
I think
them on
the Fox role is a thing for them.
Fox is
again.
back, it seems.
Fox is back, baby.
Yeah. So I think getting washed here isn't necessarily true. I think they were stunting that way
Okay.
Yeah, that makes more sense now.
and getting replaced. So it looks like they're washed, but they were purposefully replaced.
Mhm.
Yeah, you could see Sione the way he moves, but it's your one
still-
guy off from. It's still 3-yard gain. It's not bad. It's just this is
This is bad.
Yep. On inside zone.
Oh, I mean, come on. Can we get a hold on the inside here? I mean, Lions can't disengage because we're just grabbing him by his shoulder pads. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, they let it run. Oh yeah.
I mean, come
Oh,
on.
that's
What
dude,
is
that's
this
bad.
shit?
That's really
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, I'm with you on that, dude.
Yeah, I'm not as upset about the interior defensive line.
And then look at that. And then it's just continue. He's gonna dislocate an AC joint, bro. He whips him. Yeah, that's not good. And then there's a
Daryl
big-
Jackson gets
Come on,
through.
Cam. Come on.
It's really just Cam Riley has a gap here, and Shaheem Brown has this gap, right? So you've got
Let out of your
Cry-
pants.
Cryer's
Juice
going,
again,
dude.
huh? Yeah.
Yeah, and
He's
he's taking
so
on two.
soft.
He's taking on two. He's taking on two offensive linemen. Just reckless
Right.
abandon.
Crier's taken on 2, and Riley
There's an
won't even
alley.
take on a running back.
Do you think,
Oh god,
seeing how
that's
Juice
so
is
soft.
playing here, if you were able to get 20 something snaps of Juice out of Juice against Georgia Tech,
It could have
Yeah.
made a difference. Absolutely.
Yeah, it
Could've
would have
Can I have
definitely
two
made a
Juice
difference.
Criers?
It would have made a difference.
Why is he not getting? I don't understand. I don't.
Well, he
understand.
did now. I mean, I don't know about the first game.
yeah, first game was
It's
weird.
3rd
I
and
don't know.
2. Why is Juice Crier out of the game?
I don't know, dude.
Are they in nickel?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks like it.
It's big nickel.
Okay. No, Kevin Knowles is in
no,
that
no,
in the
Knowles,
slot.
yeah.
No, so they're just in standard nickel on 3rd and 2.
What happens here? All right. So
Wash
down.
They have a lot of faith that this D line is going to figure it out, and it just really hasn't.
But Nicholson's slow on reading
Nicholson's
this
slow
puller.
on it, right? He tracks in.
Right. And okay, so Sione Lolohea gets washed. He needs to see this puller and attack and buy time for these guys to get over tap.
Who's
Over
that coming
top.
off the edge?
I think it's Hussey.
It's
He has a
Hussey.
safety blitz.
But I think Hussey's got contain. I don't think he's necessarily wrong here. I
No,
think
I'm not saying he is. I'm just trying to figure out who's who.
yeah.
I can't make his number out.
I think the linebacker's just slow there.
No, yeah.
Well, and Sione doesn't help. He gets washed.
That's another 3rd down conversion on that drive.
So you're asking a safety to be your forcing guy, sophomore safety to be your force, and then Blake is.
It's an
Hopping around.
interesting.
It's a hard
It's an interesting choice. I don't know. It's
I think it deserves criticism.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
We've not criticized the decisions of the defense coordinator a whole lot. I think that one probably deserves a little bit of criticism.
Well, there was multiple during that drive. The whole DJ Lundy on Lewis Bond, I think the wide receiver's name. Like you said, their most explosive wide receiver. It's just the personnel usage, and it's carrying over, like Brendan said, from Georgia Tech, where it's like the linebacker who can trigger and fire would have been really good against the predominantly running counter team.
But also, I don't care if you're a fast guy. Cam Riley needs to hit somebody. Like, you're a linebacker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Personnel needs to be different, but they need to also do their job.
So first quarter is over, and 14 minutes time of possession for Boston College.
All right, what's here?
You've run 3 plays. We're running a little pin and pull.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Looks like you have an alley there. What happens?
The front side guard pulls, right?
They're slow.
Front side guard pulls. That's Keandre Jones, so he's pulling.
You got a down block there. He's reaching. You've got a hat for a hat. This should be a big play here. What happens? Robert Scott makes a good block. Keandre Jones is slow to get to the end.
No, he's not slow. He's fine where he's at. He takes it on with the wrong shoulder. He takes it on square instead of. He should be a little. He should be more into the line of scrimmage.
Is it your center? Like where his leverage is? Let me know how the play starts. It feels like he let the defender cross his face, and
that's on the back. It's backside, but that's okay because you should be able to cut this back. It's not great. You don't want that to happen, but who? No, it's Darius. And Darius has got to overtake that backside.
It's disappointing to me because Keandre Jones ran that play last year, and he ran a dude into the sideline. There's no physicality to this pull whatsoever, which that's why the kid's on the field, right, Adam? He doesn't get any push on it.
Yeah, he takes it on wrong, and then Darius doesn't overtake on the backside. This should be out. I mean, this should be cut back into a nice little hole here.
Yeah, there should be some. Like, you've got a hat for a hat. You need to make these blocks.
I mean, Darius is your best offensive lineman.
He did not play like it.
Yeah.
All right, 2nd and 7. Win for their defense.
Jet.
Motion. Jaylen Brown.
A little return jet. Love that. And I don't know.
You actually got a guy open. This is very similar to kind of what Boston College did. They got a crosser across the line of scrimmage, got all this action. Got a guy open.
Darius gets worked to the inside.
Darius struggled all night. Did not matter against who.
Inside moves too, man. Like you'll see with Ezraku, but this guy just shoots right across his face.
Yeah, Morlock also. Great job either.
Yep.
No. Oh no.
Not even putting up a fight.
So let me ask you guys: is Ja'Kai supposed to he's trying to use the ref as a pick there? Does he go out of his way to do it? That's like if he just leverages inside, would he have gotten free? That does not matter.
Hard to say. DJ didn't have any time, dude. He was dead to rights as soon as he.
Yeah, I think he probably overplays I got to set this pick. Yeah, I think he can run away from that kid, but
that's just about
multiple things not going well.
Yeah, no, not at all.
100%. So 3rd and 7, not great for this offense.
Guys, we got to get a new hot route. Teams know this. You got a blitz coming, so you're looking hot. That's his hot route.
That's like the Georgia Tech 4th down conversion.
Exactly like it. They know you're going to your back on a hot route.
Oh, 52. Ooh.
I mean, right? Keep this guy in. Protect,
Yeah.
It gives you more options downfield. They just knew it was coming.
Books out a little bit on some of this stuff, huh, boys?
It happens when you've been doing this for 5 years at the same place. I mean, that stuff's going to happen. You got to adapt.
Yeah, it's natural.
You can't pretend you're the smartest guy in the room all the time. At some point, you got to say, all right.
I mean, I can, but I have a YouTube channel to do it.
We've talked about as a narrative, I think, and it served the team well, like the idea of continuity. But when you don't have new voices, new ideas,
it gets stale. Yeah.
Continuity at some point just turns into complacency.
Can I tell you guys, I'm a fan of 28. Look at this kid. This kid is a redshirt freshman.
Yeah.
He's out here communicating. Everybody's on the right track.
So
Good
why didn't he
coverage
play
down
against
here.
Georgia Tech?
He played some special teams.
He played special teams, a lot of
Yeah.
special teams.
I think they were expecting a lot more of this, and that's why Cam Riley got so much burn.
Well, this is I don't know, dude. We're just slow to adjust on when the thing we think is going to happen doesn't.
Hey,
Oh, brutal, dude. Okay, so what's here? Give
Well,
it
this
Who's
is
18?
That's
Oh,
right.
Cam Riley.
Riley,
That's all.
yeah.
The same play we've been talking about over and over and over again. Same exact play they ran
Is it
earlier.
mesh rail? Is that it?
Yeah,
Or just mesh?
Yeah.
Okay.
mesh wheel.
All right.
Yeah, so this adds question, right? It's got to be one of these two guys.
What's he get?
Looks like Riley's eyes are on it the whole way. So earlier the two backers looked to wall it.
So was that an adjustment off the sideline and we're just slow to react maybe? Because like you said earlier, Nicholson and Lundy went straight for the inside release guys. And like you said, Riley's looking at the back the entire time. He's just slow to get there.
I mean, it's either a matched man where you know you're going to be switching if this guy releases fast out there, or it's a lock man. Like, there's two options. You got to know the play, you know?
Yeah.
Based on those two options, who's wrong on option 1 and 2? Like for like who's it on?
If it's lock, it's on the if it's lock, it's on the linebacker. If it's match, it's on the corner.
Right. I mean, if it's lock, you've got the running back. I don't care what happens. I don't care
You're taking him if he goes to the concession stand. You're with him.
Can you guys tell by any of the other coverages, like backside or whatever, what it would have been run there?
It's almost, I think it's going to be match, but mostly because I trust that 28's in the right place and he's looking to wall off this inside guy like we saw before. I think 18's wrong because he's not walling off or taking. He's not really doing anything.
That's either. I do wonder, not an excuse, but the 3 and outs happening so quickly, like in real time, like defense having time to adjust and talk about things and clean it up, like didn't exist for the first.
Oh, absolutely. Offense did him zero favors.
Get him juice.
Another good play by Juice Cryer. Yeah.
Yeah, he's our highest graded PFF guy, right? That makes sense to me.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, look at there. Yeah, I hate how they do this little screen, but Pat Payton does a good job getting inside shoulder on this pulling guard. That means Juice Cryer has the time to get to this pulling tackle, which means he can play him. He doesn't have to be sprinting. He can play him kind of softer, which allows him to get back out.
Ooh.
What is it, AB?
No, I'm just Marvin Jones. Close. You almost had it.
Team of Leonard Warners.
I can't stand the effort from him. It drives me insane.
It's evident on film.
It's not the effort on the through the play was great. And it's afterwards. It's just all right. I'm going to get up slow.
That was MO at Georgia, and I think they thought they kind of middle of the spring worked through that with him.
Yeah,
man, look at this. This is even harder. This is a very similar concept. He's going to release inside. They're going to play action, and then he's going to release upfield. So you can tell this side, this time they're locked here. He locks on. He comes out here. The difference is we've got Juice and Cypress working together. Although Juice does kind of pick Cypress here. So this is actually picked up. But yeah.
Is that Lundy?
Lundy gets worked.
Yeah.
So it suggests earlier that it was likely on Cam Riley.
Because they're locking there too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
DJ Lundy, I have this pulled up. This is courtesy of Clay Fink.
Finkster.
He has a coverage grade of 29.7 right now.
Yeah, teams are picking on him.
There are 261 linebackers that are qualified. Can you guess what number that is?
257.
Nope, 261. He's the worst.
Okay. The thing is,
you guys both guess the same number though. That's pretty funny.
He's at 258. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one off.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, like, okay, Cam Riley isn't coming down on runs. That's a problem. But now you've got DJ Lundy who's just coming down on runs. Like he's just assuming everything's a run.
We got to
Neither
get him
one
in
of
that.
them are reading it.
We got to get him in that Jeff Goldblum fly teleporter and combine them together. And
I
then
think,
you
I think he was right on that. He
Yeah,
just doesn't play it once he diagnoses that it's run.
That's true.
Or once he diagnoses that it's passed. Like
That's tough.
It is. That's a really tough play.
That's the second time they've done that delayed release, right?
Like Boston College is pulling out a lot of stops on you here, and they're giving you a lot of eye candy, and they're giving you a lot of crazy, funky looks, and a lot of it is because they know exactly what you're going to be in.
I enjoy Kev's sense of humor. It's very dry.
Why was Pat Payton just like 2
Trying to
yards?
get a jump start. Pat does this thing.
Oh, great
so
job,
good like
Pat.
that. Pat wanders sometimes, like in practice and stuff.
That's athletic, man. That's awesome.
That's why you're getting paid.
Mike is looking great,
That's
dude.
oh, I hadn't seen that. That's wild.
This poor guy, dude.
And that was on a good play too.
Yeah, because he knows what's coming afterwards.
All right. So now you've got a 2-on-2 with Cypress and Shaheem Brown.
Oh,
and,
boy.
They miscommunicate again. Dude, I don't care if you're going to lock or if you're going to match, but you guys got to know if you're going to do it.
So who should it be? Who should it be there? Based on how they played these concepts.
Based off how pissed off Shaheem Brown gets here, I think it's on Cypress.
But
We got to
watch Shaheem Brown pissed off because he's sprinting at the back.
He turns around and looks like he's, I don't know.
Like either he gave a call and Cypress ignored it, or
yeah. Is there like communication before this? No.
I'm sure there is. I mean, we're not going to see their mouths moving.
Once again, a strength of your team, just like your defensive line, is definitely not. And you could argue that it's a detriment, man. Like your secondary is supposed to be rock solid, and it's just riddled with communication issues.
Those are two. Like you're not doing anything crazy, man. You're either switching that or you're locking it.
Like two guys who were solid to good for you last year at one of the best secondaries in the country. Those two played football together before.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I go back to like the rat trap, and like Shia was so good in camp, and like Norvell's saying that he's having playing the best football of his life, and same with Fentrell. It's like, so that just did that not exist? Like, was one of the best evaluators like in football like that off on it, or is there something? It's so strange.
The team mentality is just. I don't know. Like you said, Brendan, they're not like these are guys that are 100% capable of making that play. It was routine for them last year between those two dudes, and they're not doing it. Something's wrong. And there could be pressing. They could be feeling the pressure. They're down 14-0 against Boston College. They thought they should be beating the crap out of them. I don't know, but this
is a read option, and DJ misses the read. This is a give all day. Give that ball. And you might see, if you give this ball, you might see him off the races. Like, you got blockers there. But because you pull it, yeah.
And then just tentative run. Yeah, nothing. Doesn't look comfortable run the ball. I agree, Adam.
So, hey, run it again.
I don't think this is called.
It's not designed. No, obviously it's not designed.
It looks like garbage, dude.
Go back to the beginning so we can.
Yeah, it looks like
we're gonna have to motor through this a little bit faster. This is gonna be like a 3-parter.
Well, there'll be a point where probably the plays aren't mattering in time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, things fall off.
So what was this supposed to be?
It looks like it's like a counter.
Because you got TJ coming across, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like a counter boot kind of play. He's not gonna boot him. It's gonna be play action though. And
yeah, just counter action on a play action to kind of pull up linebackers.
Darius kind of gets beat across his face late, but it's not really too much of an issue. But your puller it's just too slow getting there. And
I don't actually hate this decision by
No, it's the right choice because I don't even think anybody's open anyway.
No, Jalen Lucas was just jogging on his route.
The receivers definitely regressed this game from Georgia Tech. I didn't think they were a detriment in Georgia Tech, and they did not help him out at all, except for one guy. One guy, Kentron, helped him out.
Yeah, Tron had a game.
The touchdown that he had was remarkable.
It was all effort, dude. It was like once again, him and 28 on defense are like the only guys that wanted to actually win this game.
Man.
So what's here, dude? Just
Jalen Lucas stops his route for some reason. It's hard to know if this is going to be a good ball if he continues. Is that what you guys see? Am I crazy?
They're running screen to Holmes, right? Is that just a decoy or is that the primary option?
Might be attached. But like does Lucas
Why are we
is the ball
I don't know why you're running a slant to a guy that's 5'6". I don't understand that. He's not going to be able to box anybody out to win.
Would you rather throw to your tight end?
But here lies the issue. Great pump by Masterman. We can count on him.
No, I don't understand why you're running the ball or throwing the ball there in that situation.
Yeah, you're just not a consistent thrower.
I don't know why you're an empty throwing the ball there.
Think about that. Yeah, think about this. If you would ask Mike Norvell truth serum before that week 0 game, a 3rd and 2 against Boston College in the second quarter, what are you doing? Oh, I'm ramming it down their throat, and they're going empty.
Wrong decision too. I think you should have thrown the screen. You're 3-on-3 down there. I think you should have thrown the screen.
Yeah, take the completion
right now. Go. Yeah. Let your running back win.
And who knows? This might be a 3-way thing where you have the QB draw available too.
Yeah. I just throwing a slant to a. I mean, is he even 5'6"? Is he like 5'4" or something like that?
Well, Adam, you know what sucks about that play even more is you have numbers pre-snap, and he never looks that way the entire time. Like he
had numbers both ways.
Yeah,
well, he got a favorable look. I don't know, dude. He just never looked.
Take the easy completion. Yeah, I agree.
It's like, what do you want? Do you want to throw it to the short guy coming across the field, or do you want to throw it to one of your running backs for the strength of your offense? You're just not playing to your strengths.
It's a good win by Grady Kelly.
Yeah, good job. It's just, I mean, that's Kai Robichaux. He's 220 pounds. He's going to fall forward.
No, that's a good rep, dude. That's a good rep from the D. You can live with that. It's just what happens next.
Yeah, I mean, if we could average 3 yards per counter run,
no negatives, wonderful. No TFLs. We don't do that here. He's got all year to throw. Thank God he missed it.
Yeah, I can't even blame, Cypress. It's
nothing.
Someone's got to get there. You're bringing the house too.
I don't know. I don't know what the pass rush looked like in practice because I know. I mean, you guys talked about it. It looks a lot better than what we've seen in games. But I mean, that was my thing all offseason. I was worried to death that they were not going to be able to get any pressure, and it's played out that way.
Obvious passing down, man.
They're good on passing down.
Yeah, they are. You're right. And there's a situation where they do get good pressure, and it's just like. They just don't seem to get home, though. And
you know what I see too late? We've now been beaten by it 3 times. That hand motion here. They're communicating. Because if this guy goes in, this guy goes out, you've got a mesh wheel situation. So they're finally communicating here late in the second quarter, down 14 points.
I would hope that was going on prior to that. We just didn't see it.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, that's can you go back real quick? The personnel, that's Cam Riley on 3rd and long, and he makes the play here. You think he's spying?
Yeah, he's spying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was Blake in that situation earlier who missed on a crosser, and they're in dime, right?
No,
nickel. I think that's Lundy.
Is that Lundy?
No, this is Juice Cryer.
Is it Cryer?
Juice, okay.
He's playing the inside linebacker in a cover 4 look.
Kev's in love, guys. Mark, he's got a fan.
Giddily.
I mean, look, he puts his hands on a receiver.
Dog, we get competent.
It's not open.
You get competent to maybe good linebacker play from this, and Kev's that South Park Randy Marsh meme all over the thing.
It is nice. Something that we said was happening in practice is showing up in a game, and there's at least one. At least we got one.
I'm with you though, Kev. It looks because it's so different to the other ones. I don't know, man.
I love how the best linebacker on the team right now was scraps from a Northwestern recruiting class as a redshirt freshman, and he's killing it out there.
Yeah, he would have. To your point again, Brendan, definitely would have helped to have him out against Georgia Tech. This
Like
is
you maybe win that game if you get 20 better
Mhm.
snaps at linebacker.
Dude,
Like
you're
it was a
100%
3-point
right.
game.
100% right, dude.
Okay, whose fault is this?
It was hard. I tried watching the replay of it in person. It was tough to tell.
That
it
play?
Is that design delay from
You're talking
Lawrence?
about that play?
Yes.
Whose fault is it? We just missed
DJ?
the throw, right? I mean,
It's like a bad ball and a bad effort at the ball.
he's late. He's just late getting to it.
And it was delayed.
Yeah, there's like a delayed. It was like a delayed release from Toafili.
Look at
All right,
Cam Davis
AB.
running hard.
Tell me what's happening here.
Well, we're running counter. We run it right. We get a wrap with a kick.
Yeah,
So we have fixed counter blocking to an extent.
Brendan, can you pull up whether or not they were better at running counter this game in the very few times they ran
We
it?
got 5. I mean, we got 5 yards on it.
They were getting negative yards per contact last week. So
Run it back again. Run it back again. Run it back again. Come on,
That's a
get more.
win, man. Right? 5 yards.
I like the way Cam Davis ran there too. I like Cam Davis. Like I like him. He's going to be good for you.
I think Rob's got to stay on that down block a little bit longer and help get a little more movement there. We've seen other teams staying on him a little bit longer and creating bigger gaps. I think he's a little quick to climb. Like stay on that outside hip and help get a little more push there, get to the second level and wall off this linebacker. It's going to help that gap be bigger so that our back can get through and run away from the safety some.
Yeah,
But look at this. This is going to be a big play, but watch this guy. He doesn't make the tackle, but what does he do?
Collision.
And he knocks the running back and it buys time. That could be, a huge game.
So they only ran it twice according to this, and the average yards per contact or yards per carry before contact was 1.5.
So the next one must be lost because that was like 3-ish, I guess.
No, there was one they gave. I think this one they credited 2 yards, and the other one they credited 1 yard.
There's Lucas across the middle.
Better.
Yeah, this is a slant by Jalen Lucas, and you can see
Set
why
up
they
a lot
probably
better.
liked it.
Run it back.
Outside, inside.
Yeah, he does it. He just does a better job here. He creates some. I think the formation gives you some situations where he can give you an outside look.
Yeah, it was a better route.
He didn't do the hesitation on the.
No. Before it was straight into the slant. I think the formation helps there quite a bit.
It was a different player defending too, I think. So I don't know. If it had a matchup that was better.
I mean, this is how you need to use him, though. I mean, you got to think of him as a slot wide receiver, and he's got to be able to run those crazy Danny Amendola / Julian Edelman type of funky routes out there in the slot.
But I have to imagine that's what they've been seeing in practice, which is why they thought they could go to it on 4th and 2.
I'm sure. I don't doubt that for a second. Look, just because I wouldn't do it doesn't mean it's a bad call.
Darius nuked on the inside again, and in the red zone. Can't have it, man. That's your all-American candidate.
Everybody that Mike is hyped up has not played well so far.
He has to be so pissed off.
Yeah, I am. The screen looks like garbage.
Yeah.
You're 7'12". Just stand and throw the football.
I did. That was, dude. Scott missed his block anyway.
Yeah. Just want to give him a chance. I mean, it
Yeah,
could be.
you're right. You're right. But the screen. It's the execution, dude. It's like you finally get down there into the red zone, and they have no focus. It's a lack of focus. Like play-to-play focus is so poor. Focus. Squeeze the ball. Focus. There's no focus.
It's actually a good ball here, no?
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
think so.
fine.
Back shoulder. Yeah, I mean,
That's
he's got an
why
opportunity to catch the ball.
6'7" tight end, a chance at it.
You're paying him enough money for him to bring that ball in.
Squeeze, dude.
And you're paying the entire roster enough money to not be 0-2 against two teams that are probably 20% of your budget.
But here's the thing. This linebacker just blew up your left tackle, and now he's covering your receiving tight end in space. That's a player that's beating you. That's the difference, right?
Yeah. Kyle's just not physical either, running the routes, nor really that fast.
Whoa. Give me my
Sorry,
special
AB.
teams.
Boom.
Oh, man.
Never. Hell has frozen over. I never thought I'd be calling for that.
Morlock
Or-
wasn't super physical last year, and they were confident they get more out of him. He had a really good start to camp. Like the first week was very, very good. And then it just kind of fell off. And that's one thing I wish we had back was to articulate that, like, this just hasn't been as dynamic as it was the first week.
It's tough because they showed you a glimpse. He showed you a glimpse.
There's a lot of glimpses in general, like throughout this team, and you guys see this in games. Like there's something cool happening, and then there's two other guys doing something wrong. It's just
a
lot of that.
Farmer kind of eats his play up, and then
Your defensive line is doing a good job.
line is doing a great job eating up 3 different blockers.
You still gave up 3 yards though.
I think that's partly because your play side linebacker plays patty cake with the tackle.
Yeah, Blake ends up having a guy kind of roll into him, and he can't get there.
Yeah. I don't think that's, on Blake.
Let that keep going.
All right. This is a bigger problem.
Good.
Yeah.
Good at the very beginning and then pause it, please. Stop.
Lundy,
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. So you've got 5 on 4 gap wise up there. Then you bring the jet motion, it's going to give you 7 gaps. Or 6.
You're kind of out-gapped here.
And then they fold him inside. Yeah, I mean, you're just asking a whole lot out of your safety to come down here.
What do you do with that? Do you try to align something different pre-snap? I mean, it seems like Boston College has they've got the playbook out on how to out-gap you, and you're not doing anything about it. So we need to adjust in game. No,
I also think
you need Cam Riley to trigger and go.
Well, I think TJ Lundy's in the wrong gap.
That's what my first thought was.
He's out. Like if he's got this gap, there are 2 gaps here that need to be filled by linebackers, and you got 2 linebackers.
Where's Josh?
He goes to like backside A gap or so.
He goes backside A gap.
Josh looks like he's in B gap, which puts Lundy in A gap. I think Lundy's right. I don't think he's wrong. Cam Riley's just too slow getting there.
I mean, that's probably true too.
Okay,
He's
so
there's nothing holding him here because look at where Shaheem is. Shaheem is going to be your B gap player here.
Yeah, I think Shaheem's in this B gap. I think he's in this A gap, and I think he's in this B gap.
I don't agree.
So they would have a play where the linebacker would be climbing over multiple gaps and placing another one. Like that's a thing.
That is a thing. It's
just, depending on what you're expecting there. Yeah, with the flow. Mm-hmm.
All right, 3rd and 3, 3rd manageable. Motion again.
Play the screen well.
Ah, good play. Athletic play, Daniel Lyons. Yep.
He's playing well.
Yep. Yes. Athletic play there.
Yeah. When he gets his opportunities, he's playing.
Can you do me a big favor, Brendan?
Mm-hmm.
Can you be my stats guy?
Yep.
What was the splits with and without my boy Juice Cryer on the field?
Oh, okay.
Make me feel validated or bring me back down to earth.
3-minute offense here. You're going 5 wide. Pressure coming from the left side again.
Does he get hit?
Yeah, Darius really played bad.
That's a tough throw.
It's a lot of distance.
I think he's got it if he can have his feet set and really go.
Again?
And a drop.
Man, your best receiver has to be able to get.
I mean, he's getting held like crazy.
Dude, listen, man, your left tackle. This is not winning. This is not winning. Ineligible guy downfield. Oh my God, was that an offensive lineman that was all?
Yeah, it's on Rob Scott.
Rob Scott sprints downfield.
Oh, brother, yeah. Still, Darius worked again. This is really disappointing.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that. Like,
I don't know what the hell Rob was doing there either.
I mean, I don't understand going back to that play after you saw how much he got
mugged
the first time you did it.
Kev, the answer for you is 4.8 yards per play when he's on the field and 5.8 when he's off of it. Really good on standard downs for him on the field. I guess there's a big bust on third down or something like that. But so is a yard per play difference. Not insignificant.
Nice play, Deej.
Yeah, it is. The pocket kind of collapses. He does a good job finding space.
That's a big time throw.
It's a huge throw.
But he has that in him. But like that, we knew that too. It was like there's going to be peaks and valleys. It's just, again, the consistency has been far more valleys than peaks.
The team is really, the whole team has played with that level of inconsistency that we kind of expected from the quarterback position. It's just if you can make this team execute, but challenge them to execute over and over and over again and do simple stuff, they just cannot.
Man, I think there is a talent issue on this team.
Compared to the level of competition that they played.
Not to that point, yeah.
I'm saying in general, like, your skill guys are not that great.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
I get that.
It's really hindering your offense.
I would agree with wide receiver, tight end, linebacker. You're really dealing with a talent ceiling.
I just don't think you're explosive at running back. Like Roydell just is not, and Cam Davis, that's not what he's supposed to be. He's a bowling ball. So I get that.
Kyle Morlock.
Yes.
What is this route? It's slow.
It's a wheel, right?
Yeah.
Well, in theory, penalty anyway. Slop.
It's the second back shoulder wheel we've seen them throw to Morlock. Is that something they practice?
Oh,
yeah,
somebody's.
that was there.
I think Rob was lined up in the backfield there or something.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Great stuff.
They've been doing that counteraction to help Rob Scott out.
This is the. Please, I hope they give us the overhead angle. Oh, they didn't.
Yeah.
He looks like he's running in quicksand on this play.
I don't know if he's super spring fresh, to be fair, but like that's like you don't have any other options if he's not feeling great.
Can we get a holding?
Oh, that happened. Okay. That's a good catch because that definitely impacts the speed at which he's running his route.
Like he sprint like
you're not getting any flags. Like if people haven't figured that out yet.
And I'm with you, Adam, kind of to your point a couple of plays ago. Like you're kitchen sinking it just to try to march it down on Boston College's defense. This is not good.
Not on the same page here. Little delay release on the slant.
Yeah, just not good.
All right, 3rd and 15.
Just not crisp.
DJ's clearly was expecting something different there.
What?
They come right back to it?
It kind of looks like it.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar.
Yeah.
It's a hitch instead of a slant.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Which is what DJ threw the first time was a hitch. So I think there's a miscommunication.
Work them on. They should just run this every play.
Honestly. Is their yards per play worse than 1.5?
First down with it and be ahead of the chains, have the playbook open up. I like it.
All right, 1st and 10. You're still driving. You're alive somehow.
I did think on the 3rd and 2 that they didn't convert the drive before that they would maybe consider doing that 2 plays in a row, like in the press box.
Yeah, that would have kind of made sense.
They might consider it now. 2nd and 6. Okay.
Yeah, you got something.
He's doing a good job of managing the pocket. Right
this is where
he is.
This is the bane of my existence.
This drive up to this point, you're like, okay, you might have something with DJ.
Pressure right away.
Pass pros there.
This gets deflected.
Yeah, hand on it. And he has Jakai's open.
Mm-hmm.
So that just sucks. That's tough. Good hat tip to the BC defensive lineman.
This one can make you cry.
This is the corner.
Is this the one? This one is really. This one makes me so sad.
Darian Williamson, Boston College killer.
Sick route. Awful miss.
He just doesn't put any air on his balls. I just don't understand.
How much does he get to throw to Darian in a practice?
Enough. Like that's not a chemistry issue in my estimation.
And then, dude, like Don't do that, 84. Does he sky him on this one too, guys? I forget. Or is that
It's a little behind him. I think he tries to go back shoulder again. I don't know. I don't know why you're designing plays for him.
It's just frustrating because Morlock was on a linebacker earlier. He didn't get open. Now he's on a corner and he didn't get open. Like
it's
if you're tight end, you got to be a mismatch on one of the two of those.
You're gonna have to quit trying to make fetch happen. All right, let's get to the old second half there.
Sick reference, Trey. I liked it.
Thanks, buddy. All right, you're down 1-score game. You've played much worse than that, but you get the ball back at home. The stadium DJ is pumping in terrible music to get the crowd mild.
Apparently at the football team's request, and
which
everybody is up in arms about it.
Yeah, we need to figure out that what's happening there.
We need to be running these games off inside zone more often.
Dude, we need to be running 2-back sets all the time, right? Like, we want to talk about splits compared to Georgia Tech and what we've done. Like, less tight ends, more backs.
Throw backs on the field.
Even though they haven't been that great. I don't know. It's better than what we got. Anyway.
Again, I think you got a lot of... Was that Davis? Is that Cam?
Davis.
Yeah.
Pushing ahead. Is this inside zone? Yeah, or duo, whichever, but...
That's like how teams have been running that against us. Love to see that.
Yeah, I think that's what you're running best right now. We say it every year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but that's why you can't run it.
That's just Murray Smith.
Oh man, that's one of your guys. That's one of your anchor guys getting annihilated.
Yeah. Going back to inside zone, simplifying things.
And you got I don't know. You don't have much.
AB's just stewing over there.
Well, I may run it until they stop it kind of guy, but don't come out in the same formation or in the exact same play again.
Yeah.
Give a different look off of it. It's okay to do.
Yeah, show a look, counter off of it. This just no separation. I'm sure the rest of the guys were covered.
I really wonder if Roydell's going to start seeing less snaps at some point.
Yeah, you got to be able to beat a linebacker.
He's got no juice. He's just got no juice at all.
Just not running away from anybody, either carrying or receiving. Okay.
LT.
And people had issues with this. ESPN Analytics said go. I guess it does kind of reek of desperation. I'm always the type where if the numbers say go, stick to your guns and go.
Consistently. Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like, it reminded me a lot of like in 2020 when they were just.
It's just Darius gets
a lot of this is
fire,
reminding me
dude.
of 2020 in FSU.
Yeah.
He gets lit on fire.
I'm just trying to figure out. Okay, so we're running some.
It's some sort of, deep curl.
I don't know. 4th and 5. It seems. I don't know. It just seems like we're running a lot of deep routes on 4th and 5. We're running some. We're running some level stuff here, and
this kind of looks like they're zone beaters. I don't know if they were expecting man.
Yeah, but they've been getting man all. They've got man all night.
Yeah,
it's a good change of pace. So once again, the call to go for it, I could see why people 1-score game. I'm always stick to your guns, but the actual play call itself, I think it's fair. I mean, I guess, but like you said, if you expected to see one look and you didn't,
and you might have had something if Darius Washington doesn't get just whipped.
No, I don't think anything's there.
Yeah,
just didn't look like it. I mean, maybe, but
yeah, but you wouldn't have thrown a disastrous pick. Oh, it's just bad, dude. It's just when they need to sack up and do the job, it's just they don't got it. There you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. They're dead from the touchdown. This is demoralizing, man.
Do we stop here? An hour and 13 in?
Maybe one more just to see, because now
Hey, there we go.
Lawrence.
That's the only carry for LT on the game.
It looked good. Counter looked good. They bounced it when they were supposed to.
I don't think that was that counter. I don't think that was counter, was it?
Well, apparently we only ran it twice according to the data.
Yeah, there it is.
Maybe it's counter and they just don't pull the guard.
They pull the guard.
No, I'm sorry. They pull Mo instead.
Oh, they pull Mo. Yeah, it's a center tight end.
So CY counter.
He doesn't get the blogging.
We've got 2 guys blocking the same dude. So I'm thinking Jalen Brown might be wrong there.
Yeah, he's probably supposed to climb up.
Yeah.
To him or him. I don't know.
Which is going to make this, if he does, makes this an even bigger play.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Jackson
again,
West.
you're one piece of execution away from having another chunk run.
That's
And
still the
then-
best you've blocked counter in 2 games.
Is this the false start on the
So, this is the best they block counter.
The center had 2 false starts, I believe, in back-to-back drives.
dude? You're
Which
your foundational offensive linemen were awful.
This is the best
this
you've blocked
game.
counter in over a year, and it lends me to ask the question: why the hell did you only run it twice?
Yeah, you worked on it all week, right?
Maybe we were rat trapping from a coaching perspective too, because you were down 14-0 early, and your first quarter
You almost
melted
got an
away.
F-bomb out of me, Morlock. You almost got it. Oh, you almost freaked.
And that one's not even like some other plays are athleticism and not being physical.
That's the yips. That
yeah,
plays the yips. That's
Brendan,
called confidence.
do we feel from like a coaching perspective? Do we feel a little tight too, as far as like not sticking to the guns and things
Yeah,
like
I
that?
think so. I think so. I mean, seeing some of the TV footage of Mike on the sideline makes me feel that way. I thought the game plan being so different and so pass heavy, like from what you were last week, that's not characteristic of Mike Norvell to alter things so
Drastically.
so drastically, so suddenly.
This is what we were talking about earlier, Kev. He's going to play. Yeah, he's going to play over the top, but he's going to play over the top of it. And Lundy's going to shoot that A gap. Yeah.
So they are crossing. Okay, that's interesting.
But there's pullers going this way, you know.
And they just get it all. They get it sealed.
Was that Trayshawn's vision? I think you missed that.
Yeah, this is a hell of a run by Trayshawn.
I do miss Trayshawn Ward. Come back.
He's probably good. He's good.
You could use him.
All right. Yeah, I don't know, man, because it's like you said, it's just after this. Yeah, you feel like they got their guts ripped out. I don't know, man. The defense,
gosh, number 7,
starting to get gashed.
They've got you way out capped over there.
Yeah, I think he's too concerned with this guy. That's not his responsibility. That's this guy's. He needs to see pullers and attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like Peyton did. Like Peyton
Blake's
did.
too slow. Blake's too slow, and he's playing in the line of scrimmage on the backside. He cannot be there.
Good call, Kev. There's a drastic difference between how 7 played that and 11 played that from a couple quarters earlier. He's not hitting 53. Like, he's not trying to blow that up with the timing and get the running back off track. It's just you're not doing your job. Like, your job is not to worry about that guy. Your job is to get in 53's face and blow his ass back and mess up the running back's track. And
the last thing you should do is just stand there.
Yes. Just down to down, this team just doesn't execute.
But I actually think the defense performs a lot better in the second half. I mean, Brendan, do you have first and second half defensive splits?
Yeah, I will say as I'm pulling up, I do feel like some of that was like BC kind of packed it in a little bit in the fourth quarter.
I mean, maybe, but look, this is the same third down play they ran and got on you earlier. And now your defensive end of all people knows to stay on his running back, and it's not there.
I mean, they've been good the last couple of years.
And they both end up covering him, though. That's the crazy part.
Second half adjustments, like they do a decent job with that at defense generally.
It's just they came out so poor, and the offense put them in such a bad position.
Yeah, I mean, they gave up 28 points.
Yards per play went up in the second half here.
Really?
He allowed 6.3 yards per rush in the second half versus 3.1 in the first half. Yeah, I think they got worse in the second half.
Nice.
There's not a lot of complimentary football getting played either.
No.
I thought of that too, AB. The offense actually does something. The defense goes and gets there, let out of
You
it.
got movement here.
This team is not in sync.
No, very, very clear.
This is what I didn't. All right, so the numbers feel like they bear out that they are not running the ball well. But I really feel like they're running the ball better.
They ran it well today. They've been physical when they've had opportunities.
There was an improvment, Adam. I agree with you.
Again, I go back to, you clearly spent a boatload. I know that they spent a boatload of time working counter and getting it right. Why'd you only run it twice? What the hell?
Because you needed to get the ball into Morlocks.
Well, the problem is that when you like, if you go from that first down play, Adam, to there, you have a penalty, and now you're in 2nd and 11, and you got to score points. So their own miscues, I think, in their own defensive struggles in the first half, I still think they should have stuck with the running game more. But it's their own fault they didn't get to run the ball more because they're screwing it up.
He knows this is a fourth quarter game. Like, he knows these are 4 quarters, and you just keep plugging away and wearing down and running your offense and getting your chunk plays. There is a different level of impatience out of him this year than I can recall.
There's no confidence that eventually, if he sticks with it, it's going to work, right? He's not confident in his own philosophy a little bit. I don't know. Is that a good way to describe it?
I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think, Brendan? I mean, I'm with you. There is an impatience
with everything they do right now. I think they got so stunned early on against Georgia Tech. It's just nothing's playing out the way they thought it would, and it just, for a staff that made its bones staying the course back in 2021, it just doesn't feel like that's what we're seeing.
Good job, Tron.
This is awesome.
That dead leg at the end is crazy.
Yeah, it's a ballsy play.
I think we can call that.
Well, then we don't respond very well on defense after that, clearly. But it's just, it is interesting that you say that, Adam, because I do think they ran the ball better. It's just their own impatience, their own sloppiness, their own lack of focus. I don't know why, but they didn't leverage something that I think that they actually were doing well. So then who knows what could have happened if you stuck with it? Did you have any counters off of that running game? Because that's what we predicated that the success of this offense would be with a running game that you had to account for, and it would be in the passing game. Bless you, the things that you do off of it.
Mute fast enough.
That's okay. I got you, buddy. So I mean, does that give you a little? I don't want to say hope, because I don't really have a ton of it, but does that
panics me even more?
Does it the impatience?
There are clear glimpses of Mike Norvell going away from all the core philosophies that he built this program on. Response, the work, all those mantras that we've heard thrown out there. Like, there are clear examples of he's not even playing by those. So it really, yeah.
Brendan,
I fear.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Because do you feel that there's a marked difference in just, obviously the energy and the aura around the team is 100% different. They're shell shocked right now, but does this coaching staff maybe need to recover a little bit too? I mean, obviously the players take on the leadership characteristics of the head guy, right?
Yeah. I guess I do this sometimes. I don't be like a dime store psychologist here, but there does seem to be an element of that, Trey, where, again, I go back to the first half against Georgia Tech and being so stunned by the lack of physicality and the poor communication that I don't know that Mike realized that they were in this level of trouble until it was already happening. I don't think there was a lot of foresight that this was something that could happen. I mean, for him to go ahead last week and call it an awful result, like that's not a vernacular that he would use very often. And so those kind of things are compounding where it's not what we've seen and not what we've expected from him. And I think it's because this isn't what he expected. I think he is shocked. Like in 2020, like I think he kind of realized that's what it was. In 2021, like seeing some of the practices early on in the year, you could tell he was frustrated by the offense and didn't feel like they had a quarterback with Mackenzie Milton to run it at that time. And Jordan had been hurt a little bit at some points, if I remember correctly. And so like I think there was things that were happening then that he was expecting. I don't think he expected this. Going back to AB's point about response, like there's this level of shell shock that still seems to be reverberating from the guy who leads from the front generally. And I think there is to your point, Trey, like there's a trickle down effect.
Is there, now that he knows for a fact, the week 0 result, the weird circumstances around that game, what a lot of people thought was going to be a big bounce back, a nice response, that did not happen. So now the initial shock has worn off. Do we think that this team will recover with the bye week and respond to make this? I mean, they're going to be fighting for a bowl if they even get there. Do we think that that's possible, or is it? I don't want to talk about getting your team, worrying about buy-in in week 3. That's crazy with the type of culture that we've had. I don't know.
I don't think that's. I would have said yes. That is a crazy thing a few weeks ago to talk about that, but like, it
feels like we're on the precipice of that, talking about buy-in, right?
Yeah, yeah, and they maintain like that. The work effort is hard, and it's still to the standard they want it to be. And I haven't seen that. I haven't seen a drop off in that with my own 2 eyes. I will say that and I talked about on the pod before and wrote about it, but like that Friday practice did shake me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of stuff. And it was just players not being good teammates. I thought there was a lot of selfish plays, and I think that's an element that concerns me moving forward, Trey. Because until you fix that level of immaturity that's coursing through the program, all the other stuff's not going to really fall in line. Like and Mike talked about that after the game, where like you need leaders, guys who've been through it before to lead. And I don't. Until that happens, like just nothing else feels like it can. You can probably win some games without it, but it's not going to look right. It's not going to be right. It's not going to be to the standard until that happens.
The glaring issue to me is that the conversation has been around what can you tweak? What scheme changes can you make? What personnel decisions can you employ? What changes around the edges can you make to get these guys to play at their best level? We're talking about fixing foundational, systemic, basic things before you can even get to that. We're talking about first order things that like base of the pyramid stuff that is not right.
Players talking about trusting their teammates, like
openly.
Yeah,
that's what's bothered me is that this team was confident about the staff was confident about this team, but like in the 2 games of film they've put out, they don't do the basic things well. Like high school coaches would see how this team is playing these concepts and say there is a problem here. Like, why was that not in practice? Why was that not seen? Why was that not observed?
Or why is it showing up? Yeah, why is it showing up now when it didn't before?
How do you not see that they don't know how to play counter? How do you not know that your bread and butter running play isn't being blocked correctly until you play a team? How do you know that your like coverage is broken in the most fundamental way that a team can get 100 yards off a very basic passing concept?
It's funny, Kevin. I didn't have issues, major concerns outside of like, and even some of that was alleviated with like linebacker and stuff. I didn't have concerns about the defense at all throughout camp. Even though you gave up some stuff on the run, like I thought that you'd be okay against other teams. It wasn't until game installation, game week against Georgia Tech, where the scout team started hitting some chunk plays on you and doing it consistently, where I started having concerns. And so just theorizing, like I wonder if defense, like we saw this in the spring, like they knew what the offense was doing a ton of the time and would just be able to react to it and be used to it.
Like everybody does.
Yeah. Well, and so I wonder if once you got into the stuff that wasn't your own, if some of the football IQ issues and the chemistry issues started to shine. That's just the theory I've had. But like I remember talking about on the pod, like that Georgia Tech week, I was like, this doesn't look what you'd expect from a dominant defense. And other people were like, no, it's fine. And it's kind of bared out that maybe it wasn't fine.
No. Well, I've got nothing else left to say, gentlemen. I think that we have a lot to work on. I think the coaching staff has a ton that needs to be tweaked. I think that there are glimpses of dudes that want to win games. There are
Who are those
players.
two, Trey? Because I trust your eye with that stuff. And
I think you can tell Sione Lolohea, Juice Cryer, Kentron Portier, Cam Davis. The offensive line kind of shook me. I'd say a guy like Richie Leonard. I think you can account on a Richie Leonard. I didn't see anything too. The guard rotation is just so odd with what we're doing there. I don't like. You've got like one guy you can count on right now on the offensive line, and you're moving him all over the place. Let him get comfortable.
Lions.
On the defense, yeah, Daniel Lyons is good, but he, by his very nature of how he plays, is going to be kind of inconsistent. And then
Knowles.
Yeah, but you know what you got. You got to think about past history there. I don't. Other than that, no. I mean, you get flashes from dudes, guys like Pat Payton. You know, he played the run better. He had an athletic play against Castellanos.
Like guys who are going to
that want to win,
effort and intensity consistently, and with a level of confidence to go along with that too. Like I think the names you mentioned are ones that I would agree with. I'd throw KP in there right now. But like that shouldn't be. That wasn't what you built. Like I don't think anyone thought that Kevin Knowles would be your starting nickel going into fall camp, and he outright won it.
Well, think about those guys that I just named, Brendan. They're none of the top 5 most important players. They're none of the upper echelon dudes. I didn't say Shaheem Brown or AZ Thomas or I didn't say Josh Farmer or Darrell Jackson.
Oh man, I think we're being a little unfair if I'm being completely honest. Like I thought Josh Farmer played hard in that game.
Yeah, he did.
I'm not sure he played well all the time, but I thought he played hard. Like he's splitting double teams. They clearly
That's a good point.
Like Darrell Jackson,
the tackle group in general played much better but it was against a worse offensive line too. But they did play better from game 1 to game 2.
Like if I'm Mike Norvell, I'm this scheme stuff and all that. Like that shit is just so irrelevant right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to get back to his core fundamentals, and he's got to get that stuff figured out before he worries about any of this other stuff. Like they have got to get back to their pyramid of success and say, okay, this is what we've been built on. This is how we get back to it. This other stuff is just so irrelevant.
In middle of form season, like where would you even start with that, AB? I know.
I don't know.
Do you ramp up the physicality in practices? I mean, you go back to basics.
They tried doing that on Friday, and the team kind of imploded.
No, if you change stuff now, like if you are making, it shows panic, and that is just going to deteriorate more of the trust. Like he's just got to get back to being himself, and get back to getting these coaches to being themselves. And find that, like I said, that pyramid of success with his core principles and get back to it. And he's got to hold everybody accountable to it.
That's a great point.
If you're not making a freaking recruiting phone call, then your ass better be getting held accountable for it. If you're not finishing on that little fake ass run that they do every practice, if you're not finishing it, your ass needs to be held accountable for it. You do it for a reason, Mike. Like at some point, there's got to be accountability for it. If you're not going to do it right, don't freaking run with me. Like that shit goes a long way.
How you do anything is how you do everything.
How you do everything.
Yeah. And just as a final note, getting Mike to look back like himself. This team has not looked like itself since December of 23.
Yeah, and there's elements to that. Like, there are elements to, and I'm reluctant to blame a ton that's happening now on the snub, but the things that happened with it, where you lost all your leaders in one fell swoop, they all left abruptly earlier than they thought. The coaches left to go on the road recruiting, and in hindsight, they couldn't have planned for that, but it happened. And in that time, in that window, the players who stayed started prominent players, guys who you've brought with you to ACC kickoff and have made captains and have started looking for more money, which one thing to look for more and to negotiate it. The way it was done, both privately and publicly, that reverberates. And all of that happened in a really short period of time where it felt like leadership just got completely derailed. And I don't know that they recovered from that now with what we're seeing in hindsight, especially with what we're seeing in hindsight. I had my suspicions, but I thought maybe you got through it in the off season and once adversity hit. hit you in the mouth against Georgia Tech. I think we saw the void of leadership, and that's all stemmed from December, in my estimation.
I think Mike's having a major Tom Hanks and what's the one where he's stranded on that island?
Philadelphia.
Castaway moment where he goes and tells his wife, I shouldn't have gotten on that plane. He should not have gotten on that plane, man.
We'll see, man. That was awesome, Kev. All right.
What the hell did he say? I didn't even remember what he said.
Philadelphia. That had to do with something else, not islands. Okay, we'll get to it. I think this is good. But like you said, Adam, Kev, Brendan, I think we all agree. Back to basics. You have a blueprint for success at this particular program that you're coaching at. Trust on the principles that got you there. They've got plenty of time to work on it. If they don't, the type of conversation that we had after this film review, which I'm glad we have, which we rarely have, as you can tell, we're all still kind of grasping for answers. We're going to be having a lot more of these conversations. I hope that they can stop. I hope that we find ourselves when we get there. But one thing that you can find is all of us on Noles247.com. We will be getting you all the information through the bye week, recruiting news, practice reports, film analysis, everything. Stick with us, Noles247.com. Brendan, appreciate you coming on. That was it's funny, kind of a lot of the talks that we had before this thing started recording, we kind of had them after while it was recorded. So good for the people that got to hear that. Thank you for hopping on. Always a pleasure. Kev, Adam, you guys are the best. And you guys, all you can do, guys, just keep chopping. Just chop away.